Video walkthrough on Heartland Pioneer. Start in the back. You are pre-wired for a backup camera. Now it does not have a backup camera, but if you choose to install one, you can get that done. It does use power from those marker lights up there, so the running lights on your tow vehicle need to be on for it to work. 50 amp short cord is your short cord. It'll come with a unit. Twist it in to lock it, and then I always tighten the gray thing too as well in case someone would have tripped over it, doesn't yank it out. And it's about 20-30 feet long. Do got a receiver in the back. It's not for towing. You have a maximum capacity of 300 pounds, so that's good for like a bike rack and one of those big racks if you have extra coolers or whatnot. Slide seals. Every once in a while you're going to inspect them, make sure they're not dry, cracked, or rotted or anything like that. If they start to get dry, come take it in, or to have us perform what's called a slide out maintenance. We do some stuff to the seals as well as the rails, or you could buy the necessary materials to do that yourself. Come over here, back for the second gray tank. So we got a pull valve right there, that small one on that small pipe that goes to the outdoor kitchen. The outdoor kitchen does not lead into a tank, it leads into here. But if you were to have, so it doesn't really lead into a tank. So this one right here is for the outdoor kitchen sink. On the other side, this one is for the gray tank. This one is for the black tank in the back bathroom. I always make sure all my valves are closed before I take the cap off, because this little section of pipe could be filled with some stuff you don't want to get on you. And then I always do my black tank first, and then I do my gray tank. That'll flush out the hose with the gray tank water, so you don't have to carry it around with black tank water in it. Over here, more sewer connections. We got a black and a gray for up front. That long hose right there, that's your drain for your fresh tank. The other two are low point drains. That's gonna be the lowest point of your water line. And again, like this, make sure your valves are closed before you take the cap off. And then I always do black tank first and then gray. Pop this open up right here. Got your water setup situation right here. Quick disconnect for the hose right here. Got hot and cold out here. Right here you got a black tank flush, so when you're dumping your black tank, you got two of them for both black tanks. Excuse me. So you can hook your hose up to there as you're dumping your black tank, turn the hose on. That'll flush out the black tank because there's a little nozzle in there. Keep it from smelling, keep the stuff off the walls, you know. You have your freshwater fill. This is where you put your hose to fill your onboard fresh tank. Just rest it in there, don't jam it in there. Rest it in there, crank it on, it'll start filling. Monitor its progress on the monitoring panel. And then over here, city water. That's where you're gonna hook your hose up to. If your site provides water, then you won't need to run off your pump, just city water pressure. We've got a little light out here. GFCI outlet. All your GFCIs are on the same circuit. If one's gonna trip, they're all gonna trip. Then you do have cable and satellite inputs right here. The nice thing about this is you can pop this up, run all your hoses and all your coax cables in through here. That way you don't have to have this compartment door open at all. Pass through storage here. You do got a light in here. Plenty of room in there. Right over here, it's one of your propane tanks. You have two. Then you got your regulator over here. If you can see this one, kind of see it right there. It's pointing that way. If you follow the line, it's going to be pulling from the tank on the other side. If both tanks were on, this is an automatic change of a regulator, so if the other one would get depleted and this one were on, this will automatically switch to pulling from this tank. However, this doesn't move, indicating it's switched to which tank it's pulling from. So keep that in mind. And then some people have it in the middle, up and down like that, thinking, hey, it's going to pull from both tanks equally. I won't have to worry about it. No, one or the other. You don't know how many times I've seen them come in with them in the middle like that, and I kind of chuckle. It's one or the other. Right here, good information. Tells you what full load of water equals. It got your cargo carrying capacity, has your gross vehicle weight rating. I don't know if your dry weight is printed here. It might be inside the door. But the real good number here is your VIN, because you need that for insurance. And then your, tire pressure, 80 PSI. go off of what this says, not what's printed on your tires. They are filled to the correct pressure, so you don't have to worry about doing that. Every once in a while, you are going to want to check to make sure it's at the right pressure. Come over here, you get landing gear. That's how you're going to want to level your trailer front to back with your landing gear. And you have stabilizer jacks on the back that you can snug down to get all the shake out of it. You also use this to get on and off your truck. I think we are delivering this for you, so you might never ever use it on a truck. And here, got some cranks. Backup cranks for these front jacks, backup cranks for the slide outs. Plenty of storage. You got your battery in here, battery disconnect right there. Definitely recommend disconnecting the battery if you're not going to be at your camper for a couple weeks, because you don't want anything to use your battery while you're away. In the winter, I recommend taking your battery completely out, storing it somewhere warmer, taking it home with you, storing it in the garage if you have it at a permanent site. This is going to keep your battery from dying, and that way you don't have to replace it every single year. Over here, partially wired up for solar. You have to buy the remaining components. Like I think there's a monitoring panel you have to buy, and then a solar panel. And all that does is trickle charge your batteries, keep them good. Got a light switch here. I believe that does do. Yep, these LEDs up on the front. Of the side of that propane tank, as well as right there, that bar right there. So you're gonna put your backup crank for this front landing gear if the power were to fail. Other side of this storage, you do got a light over there, right there. Outdoor power, GSI protected, just like the other one I was talking about. It's on the other side, in that water compartment. They're all in the same circuit. So if one trips, they all trip. Water heater is super simple to use. It's all set up for you to be using it. All you do is hook up water to it. It'll start filling automatically. And you'll be able to turn it on. There's a switch out here. So let's go get the tape off of it. Go. If you want to use it on electric, make sure it's on. Right now it's on off. That's how you turn it on and off on electric. Otherwise it's on gas. Very simple to use. I do recommend draining it if you're used it for a week and then you're going to step away for a couple of weeks. You want to drain the water out of it because you don't want to sit in there, have it sitting in there. It'll get stagnant. Before you pull that anode rod, like I was saying, you don't want the water to sit in there. It'll get stagnant. So before you pull your plug out, 1/16 is the socket size. I always have a little short socket with an extension, cheap ratcheting wrench, keep in a compartment somewhere. That way you won't have to struggle with finding a tool for it. Just keep it in the same spot every time. Before you do that, you want to crack your pressure relief open like that. Water will squirt out. That's fine. Once it's done, stop squirting out, snap it closed. Then you can take that plug out. If you neglect to do this first, that's going to come shooting out at you. Hot water is going to come everywhere. It's going to be no fun. Other than that, keep it clean in here and here. Recommend checking back here for any debris or dirt a couple times a year, 3 or 4 times a year. Vent for your fridge. Just keep it clean up in here. Any debris or anything like that, dust, spider webs. There's a vent on the roof too as well. And then eventually, I recommend once a year popping this off, cleaning back there, making sure it's nice and clean. Similar thing with your furnace. Make sure it's clean in here. They do make screens for these. They don't really recommend that you run your furnace with the screens on, but I've seen people do it. That's going to good to keep road debris out of there, or insects from building nests, spider webs forming in there. And then right here, exterior range vent. If you are going to cook on your range, make sure it's open if you have been running that fan. If not, the fan's not going to vent anything anywhere. And then I always make sure it's snap closed before I travel, so it's not flapping. And then I always close it overnight so no insects make their way up in there.
Oh, 1.33. That's not bad.
Outdoor kitchen. Keep in mind these have a lot of force when they go open, so step back or he's like get bopped in the chin. Do got GFCI outlet here. power coax outlet, so you could have a TV out here if you wanted. Got you a mini fridge. Only works when you're plugged in. It doesn't work like your fridge on the inside. It works more like a traditional fridge. Keep your beers cold out here. Outdoor kitchen. Got a nice faucet. This is what I was saying, where it drains into its own thing. But it has hot and cold out here, which is really nice. That's pretty much it for out here. There's not a whole heck of a lot out. Close it. And you got your rear stabilizer jack right here. Now these are stabilizer jacks, they're not leveling jacks. They're not meant to pick up the weight of the trailer. Like I said, if you want them to be level, use your tongue jack front to back to get it level, and then run these down to stabilize it. For the sake of saving time, we won't go all the way. But once they hit the ground, just snug them down a little bit. Don't overextend them. You'll trip a self-resetting breaker in there, and then you have to wait a few seconds for it to reset. For any reason that breaker were to fail, you might end up amping out the motor and then ruining the motor. Alright, well, we'll go on to the inside now. Let's get some lights on in here. Alright, we're going to skip this for now, and we'll go to the bedroom and just kind of knock that area out real quick. Switch for LED lights, switch for the lights in here. Right here, you're pre-wired for a Wi-Fi extender. It does not have one in it. You have to pay us to install one, but that's part of it too as well. The slide out is closed right now, but it does open up more. I'll show you the controls for it in a bit. But we can do all the bedroom without even opening this. Nice wardrobe. Nice clothes rack going all the way across. Plenty of room for your clothes. Storage on either side of the bed. not USB, power outlets on either side, lights on either side of the bed. This one's got more drawers on the other side than this one does. And then your bed does kind of lift up for plenty of storage underneath there. Emergency exit over here. Super simple. Pivot this out, push it out. Rest it like that if you want to use it as a normal window. If there's an emergency, you would push all the way out, let it swing freely, and then you're good to go. You got to pull this out right here and jump out the window if there's an emergency. Alright, so I was wrong about the black and gray tank situation. This bathroom right here, both the sink and the toilet lead into a black tank. So they both lead into one black tank. So you have a black tank 1 here, then you have a black tank, a gray tank for just that sink, and then a black and a gray tank for that bathroom over there. Resetting GFCI, this is the one that if any of them were to trip, you come and reset it at this outlet. Very simple in here. You have a pedal over here as long as you're pushing it. It's going to keep flushing the toilet. And you do have a nice porcelain toilet, so it'll feel like your toilet at home. And then they give you some tank cleaner right in there. Remember what I said. Both this sink in here and the toilet lead to one black tank. Then you do have a fan here. Pull this down, pivot it up. And you got the fan switch right here. Nice and cool. Alright, let's close this. Close this, a few more things. Smoke alarm right here. Runs off of 9-volt batteries. Starts giving you those low voltage chirps. Time to replace the battery. Very simple. And you do have a spot for a TV. Coax right there. Power right there. There's a backer in the wall for here. If you wanted to mount a TV, keep in mind when you buy a mount, look at the screws for the mount. More than likely they're too long. Buy smaller screws, because if you use the screws for a mount, usually you poke through the outside of the camper. Alright, done with the bedroom in here. We'll come over here. We got one of your monitoring panels right here. So you can read battery, fresh, black, and gray. So remember what I said. Black is the bathroom up there. Both the sink and the toilet are on the black. The gray is this kitchen sink right here. And you can turn your water heater on a propane, water heater, and electric, and then your water pump. Use your water pump if you're going to pull from your onboard fresh tank. Excuse me. You can run electric and gas at the same time. Once it gets to temp, I turn gas off, so it's just running on electric. Make sure when you're running electric that you do have water in it, also you're going to burn out the heating element. Have your controls for your awning in or out here. Very simple. Your awning does not automatically stop when it goes out. So you can see it goes. In the interest of saving time, we won't go all the way out, but I could show you that they are adjustable. When it's all the way out, you can grab right here, pull it down. It'll lower one corner so you can have water pitch off to the corner rather than all the way along the edge if it's raining. If it's storming real bad, really high gust of winds, roll your awning in. It doesn't roll itself back in when it's rainy. And if you roll it in wet, as soon as you get the chance to, I definitely recommend rolling it back out, letting the water dry, because if it holds moisture, then you're going to end up with like a smelly awning fabric. It's going to be dirty, and you don't want none of that. Got a light switch here. That one does your LEDs on your awning lights. This one, the switch right here on the right, does your entry right above. Sorry, one in the middle does your amber light above your porch, and the one on the left does the main row of lights in here. You have your controls for your slide out. This one right here does this slide. This one right here does the back bunkhouse slide, and this one does your bedroom wardrobe slide. Very simple. Come over here, spot for a TV, satellite hookup, TV hookup. This is where you put your thing if you're going to run cable or antenna. If you have your antenna, make sure that booster's on. If you're running cable, turn it off. Power for a TV. You can plug this into the back of your TV because that radio is also a DVD player. And then you do have a backer. If you wanted to mount a TV, or you can just have it standing here. Just make sure if you're just having it resting on its own legs, you move the TV, put it somewhere safe when you travel, because then you might wind up with a broken TV. Got your radio below that. Very simple. Power. Volume knob right here. Scroll through your channels here. Different zones. Zone A is inside. Oh, Zone B, Zone A is outside. Zone B is inside. So if you have Zone B off and Zone A on, it's just the outdoor speakers playing. Turn Zone B on, Zone A off, it's just the indoor speakers. You can have them both on, you can have them both off. But you can get why that would be useful. You can do AM, FM, your disc for whatever you have a disc in there. Bluetooth, you can Bluetooth your phone to this. USB, have your phone plugged in there. And then auxiliary cord, so you have an aux port right there. You can have it go through different settings. You can set an alarm, a sleep timer. You can change the clock. Right here you have presets. Push and hold to save a preset. It's very simple. And then you can change the brightness of the screen right here. Very simple. And then power right there. And then you do have a remote for it. This will work as a remote for your radio, and if you have a DVD in there. Now it's not an HD DVD player. If you see it by the cables over there, it's just a standard definition. But you can do all your functions for your DVD player from the remote right here. So we will put that remote right in here. And speaking of in here, get your bag. It's going to have all your manuals in it. Got a fireplace right here. Hit that power button. You can see in the corner right there. So this button right here, you can change whether it's in Celsius or Fahrenheit. This one changes intensity of the flame. This one just sets a timer right here. And then the other one changes the temperature. Very simple. 6 buttons, very easy to use. It does run off electric, so you don't need propane for it. So if it's not quite cold enough to run your furnace at night, but it's getting a little chilly, running that furnace will definitely kind of take the chill out of the air. Light switch. If your light's above your awning, the other one, not awning, slide out. The other one will do your, kind of, I call it like a chandelier, kind of, over your dinette table. This does turn into a bed. A little difficult to show one-handed. I'll do my best to demonstrate. Remove these back cushions. Set them aside. I always put them on the kitchen counter if I'm sleeping, because I won't be using that when I'm sleeping. Then you grab up underneath here. Lift up and out. And you can see there's legs underneath there. Lift it up and out. Fold the legs down. No latches holding legs. They're just free kind of folding. Set that pushing down. It creates a platform. then you take this back part right here, and this will, see how it moves like this? This will fold down flat, creates a platform to sleep on. One or two people. Say one would be more comfortable than two. This over here does turn into a bed as well. Lift up them table, remove them legs. There's no latches, they're just kind of frictioned in there. Set the table on the shelf on the edges right here. And then you play puzzle with the cushions. It's going to be those cushions right here, the little square ones. Set them on here, creates a platform to sleep on. This one definitely, I would say, more comfortable with just one. And then here's a light for there, and this does control right there. Very nice, very nice. Come back around here. Microwave. Works like your standard household microwave. Nothing special about it. It's only going to work when you're plugged in. Here you do have a light with a fan. Remember, if you're going to run this fan here, make sure that flap on the outside is open. Or else it's not going to be venting anywhere. Nice folding cooktop. Got your knobs for gas. You can quit that. Spark it. The gas is off, so it's not going to light. But it's very easy. You don't have to push it in when you light them on these. Just turn it to the flame. Twist your sparker. It'll light all three at once if you have all three on at the same time. Very easy. It beats hand lighting it. And that's the nice thing about these Freon ones. The old style ovens, you had to hand light the pilot. This one, you still have to light a pilot, but you can use the sparker to light it. So, turn this to the pilot right here. Push and hold. As you're pushing and holding this, so hold it in. You can twist this, and what you're looking in there is that pilot for there to get lit. Once the pilot is lit, you can then turn it to whatever temperature you want. Now, if you're planning on cooking again in a few hours, and you don't want to have to relight your pilot again, if you turn it off but leave it to the flame, shuts the burners off, leaves the pilot on, that way you don't have to relight it. Definitely recommend turning it off completely before you leave your trailer unattended or before you go to bed, because having a lit pilot overnight is just never a good idea. And then you do have a light switch here. Up does just the knobs, middle is off, down does the knobs, and is your oven light. Fridge, super simple. 2 buttons, on or off. Auto or gas. You can already see it's pretty cold in there. I don't know if you can see there, look at that. So I just recommend leaving on auto. Auto is going to default to 110, so if it's got 110, that's what it's going to run off of. If for any reason it'll lose power, if it loses power, it'll automatically switch to running off of propane if your propane tanks were to be on. That's good. That'll save your food from getting expired if you're left for the weekend or something and you knew you had food in there. Right below that, propane gas alarm. That's a carbon monoxide and propane gas alarm, I believe. Yep. So that, hold on. Yep. CO and propane. That's hardwired to the 12-volt system, so there's no batteries you have to worry about changing. Up there, you got a smoke alarm. 9-volt batteries. If that stuff's getting low voltage chirps, replace them batteries. Thermostat. So the first mode it'll ask is auto, high or low. That's your fan mode. Definitely recommend just running auto. Auto is going to allow your AC and furnace to cycle on and off at your set temperature. That way it's not running all the time. It's going to save it from freezing up. And the reason they'll freeze up, if you have it on high or low and not on auto, and you have it set to 60 degrees, but it's 90 degrees out and it's 80% humidity, that AC is going to freeze up. Because once it hits 60 degrees, it's still going to keep running. It's not going to shut off. If it keeps running and it's overusing itself, there's a little freeze sensor in there. It'll shut off because it's frozen. Then you'll have to wait for it to thaw to kick it back on again. Running on auto is going to help prevent that. After you have your selected mode, tap it. You do it cool, tap it again, furnace. So cool goes to 55, furnace goes to 90. And the last little trick about these is if they can be a little finicky. If you accidentally hit up and down at the same time, it switches to Celsius. All you gotta do is hit it again, and it goes back to Fahrenheit. Unless you like reading it in Celsius. Come here. This is your main bathroom. Here's a light switch right here. This is where your shower is and all that. Nice removable shower head for them hard to reach spots. Nice and tall. A lot of times they don't give you enough room. This one's nice and tall. It does have a bathtub if you want to take a bath in it, but I mean, I can't fit in there. Turn your shower on. Pull this up. It diverts it to the shower head. You'll be able to take a shower. Right over here is your other monitoring panel. So you have black and gray. So this area right here has a black and gray. Black will be the toilet in here. Gray will be your shower and your sink in here. Remember what I said about that other bathroom? They both lead into the black tank. that kitchen sink is on its own gray tank. And again, complimentary tank cleaner. Just pour some down your toilet, help keep it fresh. There's that light switch for in here, and you can turn your fan on. Just hold the open button to open this lid. You see it's opening right now. It's very nice they did that, because a lot of the older ones, I've seen a similar model to this, where it wasn't powered, it was on a crank, manual crank handle, but it was still this high up. You have to be pretty tall to crank it open. So that's nice having that motorized. That's pretty much it for the main bathroom. You do have access to the main bathroom from the outside, so you don't have to cut all the way through here. If you're hanging out and you have a buddy coming in to go to the bathroom, they don't have to cut in through here, cut in through your living room and whatnot. Coming into the back, got your light switch from the back. Very simple. Got a bunkhouse. Spot to sleep here, spot to sleep here. Top bunk does have a 200-pound capacity. Each bunk has their own lights. This does flip up, and you can latch them open like this. Doesn't matter which way you have it when you transport this unit. You do have an emergency exit down there. Works the same as that one in the bedroom. This top bunk here has a 300-pound capacity. And you do have a spot for a TV in here as well. Backer, power, coax outlet right there. And then plenty of storage in here for some stuff. And another vent here. Same as the other one in the other bathroom. Just pull it down and move it like that. There's no fan on this one or not. And then every bunk has its own light. Alright, that's it for the back. That's pretty much it for our virtual tour. I hope you found the video informative. I hope you guys get a lot of good use out of this camper. I like this layout of it a lot, so I hope you guys like it a lot. Get good use out of it, really enjoy it, and goodbye.